So Apple today was up 52 cents on the daily candlestick. You can see this little daily candlestick right here. However, I do believe the sentiment, the overall sentiment taking place more so on a swing trade level, is going to result in the downward price of Apple, or at least the short-term fallout in price to the downside. For an aggressive intraday entry, I'm looking at about $108.25. It's based off this 3-day pattern right here. It's what we call an evening star reversal candlestick pattern. And again, we're just waiting for confirmation to break to the downside before we start getting actively involved in any puts on this individual trade. Amazon today was getting very close to our first target at 285.98. We have what we call a high wave spinning top. At the moment, this trade is slightly sitting at a loss. It's down about $2 since our initial entry. That's okay. If you are in this trade, I'd encourage you to limit your risk, place a stop in this particular trade. Either your decision is to place it above here at about 302, or to place it above Wednesday's candlestick just here. It all comes down to your own risk preference or your risk profile and how big your position is relative to the size of your trading account. Baba today hit our target. I've referenced that in a previous video. Baidu today is pretty much sitting in no man's land. It's all around this congestion going back to September, October, even before then, earlier into 2014, really starting at August 2014. It hasn't really made any net movement at the moment. I'm very excited about a Bollinger Band squeeze setting up on Baidu. It will occur. It's not there yet. Caterpillar today had a gap down, 84.94. It's really trying to fail this long-term support level. If I zoom out and go to the weekly, you can see the support level coming in all the way back to the majority of 2013. You can see it comes in something like this. At the moment, we're flinching all around that macro trade trigger. If that falls out, $83 and $80 are some really good targets on Caterpillar to the downside. FAS has hit our target down here at 112.39. That was a great trade. Facebook today doing nothing. It's continuing to move sideways in some form of a little wedge potentially. What does this mean for the price of Facebook? We'll soon see. Earnings are coming out. Google at the moment, again, bouncing all around this macro support level, very similar to Caterpillar. If you're in the trade, tighten your stop to the high of today's candlestick and also the high of Tuesday's candlestick, and we'll see how Google moves on Thursday's trading session. All we can do as technical traders is to limit our risk in the event that a trade moves against us. That's exactly what we are doing with Google. Gpro today stabilized a little bit, up $2.47 after yesterday's mammoth sell-off. We've hit both of our targets. At the moment, you should be out of this stock. You shouldn't be holding on to this any longer than you have to. Once you hit your targets, you always exit them. Gpro at the moment again. This is great. It's giving us structure. It's stabilizing at support. I'll give you an update over the weekend in that pro class on how to deal with Gpro moving forward. Halliburton today is on the precipice of breaking out. The only thing which is worrying is that we have earnings coming up next week. Earnings are set to be released on the 20th. So we only have a couple of more trading sessions before we have to exit our puts if in fact we do continue to the downside. So please pay attention to the price of Halliburton. Be sure to exit this position before earnings. Nflx today had a very nice inside day bearish type of candlestick. We did close up 45 cents, but you can see again the continuation of what we call a stair-step pattern setting up very, very nicely. We have increasing volume as well. Even though it is a green bar, because we did close above the close of yesterday, this is a very, very bearish candlestick for Nflx, and it's really indicating that, look, we could see the base of Nflx fall out over the coming days. However, again, we do have earnings coming out. This earnings date at the moment, as it currently sits, is on the 20th of January also. So that's two stocks which we follow, which are reporting earnings on the same date. Tesla today had an incredible gap down. You can see this gap down. I'm very excited about the gap continuation type of trade. Obviously, sentiment starting to shift on Tesla. CEOs come out and said, look, we're going to fail our earnings projections based off the China sales, or at least the car sales stemming from China for Q1. So the market obviously interpreted that news quite bearishly. We did gap down. However, during the session, we did trade up. This leaves us with an extreme sentiment shift, and any failure of today's low on Tesla is going to result in a very good shorting opportunity down to at least 183, which I understand is very, very close. But if that fails, we've got 174 and 156 as longer term targets on Tesla. Twitter at the moment is stabilizing at this pivot point. You can see that we have some form of a rectangular stair-step pattern looking very, very good. So what you can start to do anyway is start to leg into more core positions if we get continuation and follow through to the upside. This is looking quite healthy. It's one of the shining lights in a market which is more or less really tanking, or at least pulling back down short term into resistance levels. Is this going to be the base? for the Dow Jones Industrial Average, for the S&P, and for the Nasdaq. We'll soon find out. It is a very logical area of support. We do have a lower wick on the Dow Jones. We have a hammer candlestick on the S&P 500, and on the Nasdaq we have more or less a bullish, counterattack as we gap down and almost traded into the close of Tuesday's daily candlestick. So thanks a lot for this Wednesday afternoon market recap. Have a great evening. I'll see you all on Thursday for another market update. All the best, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye.